Hi, welcome to first video on learning jazz piano pieces. Going to start with Cantaloupe Island. It's a Herbie Hancock tune, and yeah, it's kind of it's a fun thing to play. It's not too challenging. It's a nice piece. Cool. So yeah, that's some of it. That's most of it actually. So in the left hand, you've got a bass line which is starts on F. It's kind of like an F minor shape. So we play it up here. It's F, C, E flat, F. And the timing, if you're counting in four, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 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 4 and. So that's kind of like the shape on the left hand. And then on the right hand, you can think of it in thirds. So you start in like an F minor shape. So, and then up to sort of a B flat shape. It's got F minor, B flat, and this is what's really an F7. It's kind of like a blues thing where you kind of move up in thirds like that. So yeah, so it's like. So you got like F minor in thirds, and then what he does, he puts an F on the top. So you kind of got like a chord here, but you keep that F on the top all the way through. And maybe if you're just starting out, you can just play the thirds. When I'm playing my thumb and the second finger, then my thumb and my third, and my second and the fourth, so, and put the F on top. It's got a little bit of a roll in there, so you can sort of roll it a tiny bit. The other thing he does is he kind of rolls off that B. It's a bit of a blues note in that scale. So you got. this kind of pattern, which is what it's kind of like the riff of the tune. And that just repeats, so it's kind of hard to get the time in initially, but then once you've nailed it, it's the same throughout. So that's the good news. So those are the two elements for the we'll call it the F minor shape. That was the first pattern. So the left hand's doing just kind of running up an F7 shape. So you've got the first, the fifth, the seventh, and the first again. So that's the first pattern, and then what happens is it transposes to D flat. Transposes just means that you move everything, and you're going to play pretty much the same thing but in D flat. So you go from F to D flat, and then you're going to still play the same pattern, which is the first, the fifth, the seventh, and then the top root. So you go from to D flat, which is 1, 5, 7, 1. So you got 1, 5, 7, 1 in F, and then take that and just move that whole shape down to D flat, and you got 1, 5, 7, 1. So you got. The interesting thing with the right hand is you're not going to transpose the whole shape down. You're just going to change some of the notes. So you're going to play almost the same thing, but we're going to play the seventh of the D flat. So instead of the A flat and the C, you're going to play the A flat and the B. And then you're going to flatten this note to a D flat. So instead of, you're going to play A flat and B, and then B flat and D flat. That's the F shape. D flat shape is. Same thing with the roll. You're trying to roll that note. It's a little bit trickier because you play the note and then you roll off it, and you're rolling off a black note, so it's like a chromatic roll. So it's a little bit. So you just barely roll off it. You don't really have to make it accentuate it. It's just a little sort of trill thing. And then the same thing, you have the little finger playing the F on top with these third shapes. And then for the fingering, it's the same kind of thing. It's the thumb and first finger, thumb and third, and then I think I play. Oh yeah, I play with the fourth and the thumb there. It doesn't really matter. Whatever fingering works for you on these. you get it, you can practice changing between them. And then try and get that transition smooth from the F to the D flat. And then there's like a middle 8, so the what happens after the D flat is you get this kind of 3-note roll, and then we go to a D minor shape to well, I guess it's kind of like a D13, but it's like kind of like G over D as well. So it's B, C, E flat. You just play it twice quickly. And rest. So that's kind of the rhythm for that bit. So all those 3 things. So we got like the first pattern, which is an F. And to D flat. And break down into D minor. G over D, we'll call it. Cool, so that's kind of like the 3 shapes that you need to learn, 3 patterns, and the first and the second are very similar. They're just almost the same. Cool, and then I think I'll save the melody for the next video, and yeah, hope that was helpful, and see you next time. Bye.